Joining me in the studio today, we have two guests, Erin and Humayun. You're both working at Signia. Welcome.
Thank you.
How does the Signia Assistant work?
Well, basically it's a tool, it's an app that when you go home, in the comfort of your home or watch TV and so on, then you turn on the app, which is the assistant, which is, let's say, an extension of the hearing care professional. It's a companion. And then you can ask questions to it. The first thing would be, I would recommend, is like the handling. It's like you click on it, handling, you get videos, explanation, and so on and so forth. This is the first thing you should actually, I think, do, and then get a little bit more experience.
Can you give me an example on when to use the assistant?
Yeah, so imagine somebody, they have their hearing aids, first time they go to a restaurant maybe, and it's very noisy, and they are listening to people speaking. They're still getting used to the hearing aids. They're still, just making sense of how the world sounds with their hearing aids. If they want to customize how that restaurant environment sounds, they can open up their Signia app, open the Signia Assistant, and enter some of that information. Say, it'll give them options, and they can select that they're in noise, they're having trouble hearing speech. And the Signia Assistant will take that information and try some adjustments to see if they can make it easier for that wearer in that moment to understand the speech that they're trying to.
And what will be the next thing that's coming up? I'm curious.
The next thing that is
the
coming,
next development that you sort of bring to life.
I think the next, it's also related to what we brought, with the integrated experience and so on, is essentially you want to know more about what is happening in the moment for the user, meaning what's happening in the environment and so on. And then the more the assistant knows about it, then he can actually suggest better solution or better support. For example, we're having a conversation here, right?
Exactly.
So then if the assistant knows, by the way, now it's in the quiet, but the person is having a conversation, and the digital assistant knows about it. Of course, it's not recorded the voices, and if the person seeks further support or help, then he get the proper solution. That means, I need to enhance better the voices that are around me.
Erin, let's sum up a bit our conversation with you today. So if you should give us 3 tips, or the wearers that are listening, joining us on this conversation, what would these 3 tips be from your perspective today?
Well, one of them that I would say, and this is echoing something that Humayun said earlier, is to become familiar with your hearing aids and with the tools that it brings, including the Signia Assistant. When you get a hearing aid and the hearing care professional tunes it so that it's customized for your hearing loss, when you leave the clinic and you're out in the real world, you still have to encounter all of the sounds of the world, and there may be situations where you want to do a little bit of fine-tuning. And you can't every time pick up the phone and call the hearing care professional. Of course, you'll go back for follow-up appointments, but then it can be hard to describe what that situation was and what your struggle was. So having a tool easy to use in the moment that you can just try different solutions yourself, see if you like them, get it to a sound that's working for you, that's going to really make your success even greater with the hearing aids.
That was, let's say, one great and big tip. Do you have other tips?
So I would say also to be patient with yourself.
Patience.
Getting hearing aids is not an instant fix, it's a journey. It's a fantastic journey and one that's going to lead you to great places, but it is something that goes step by step. So again, taking advantage of tools, being patient with yourself, and just experiencing what it's like to be hearing more, to be hearing better, and let your brain get used to that. That's really going to let you advance on that journey as far as you can go. And the third thing that I would say is that on this journey, to always think of your hearing care professional as your partner.
It sounds like a new chapter in life,
Exactly,
right? That you are
it is.
taking chances with. And what about from your perspective? Do you have a last great tip for everyone listening today?
I think the last tip also, what you mentioned, is if you're using the digital assistant, and so on. And then you still have a problem that is not solved. In the moment you are in, write it down. Because it's very, when you go back to the hearing care professional, you know, the better you describe it, what happened, the situation, the better you can have further additional tuning that you can get. This is the message. It's always sharing everything that is happening.
Thank you for sharing your perspectives as well here on this show, Brilliant Talks. We will have more guests to keep the conversation going next time. Thanks for now. Be brilliant.